As die minister Bredel.
Achtbare deputy speaker, achtbare premier, achtbare kabinetskollegas, lede van die wetgewer, die burgemeesters vandag teenwoordig, die departementshoof en die amptenare van die departement. Baie welkom en baie dankie vir die geleentheid. Die Wes-Kaap Departement van Plaaslike Regering het verskeie pligte en mandate, maar die een ding wat alles onderskryf, die fondasie van ons bestaan, is om te verseker dat al ons mense 'n menswaardige lewe kan leef, a dignified life. Ons het in die departement met verskeie rampe gewerk, onder andere die Wuppertal se brande oor Kersfees, die brande in Khayelitsha, die brande in Nysna, George brande en die mees onlangste brande in Hermanus, om maar enkeles te noem. En nou het die wiel skynbaar, achtbare deputy speaker, gedraai, soos wat ons hier staan met die elektrisiteitskrisis, waarvan die einde onbekend is. Die kans is al groter dat die land afstuur op 'n nasionale ineenstorting van die kragnetwerk. Die ANC het oor die afgelope 9 jaar ons land tot op die randjie van die afgrond bestuur. Die party se hoofverkiesingsbeampte in die Wes-Kaap, die party se verkiesingsbeampte in die Wes-Kaap, Brein Couvert, Ibrahim Rasool, het dit dan self nou die dag in die Kaap herken. En ek haal aan dat die afgelope 9 jaar onder ANC bestuur katastrofies was. Dis een ding waarmee ek saamstem. Ek moedig mense aan om nie die DEA se woord te neem nie. Toets ons aan die onafhanklike studies waarna die achtbare Dakmor verwys het, die Ouditeur-generaal en Statistiek Suid-Afrika. Ek lig 2 dele uit, achtbare deputy speaker. Die afgelope 10 jaar het die Wes-Kaap regering nie 1 sent aan vermorste of verkoeste uitgawes gehad nie. In die Wes-Kaap bestuur ons mense se geld korrek. Ons steel nie van ons mense nie, ons bou. 10 jaar gelede het net die stad Kaapstad van 30 munisipaliteite in die Wes-Kaap 'n skoon audit ontvang. Teen 2017 het 21 van ons munisipaliteite skoon audits ontvang. Landwyd was daar slegs 33 uit 257 munisipaliteite wat skoon audits ontvang het. Ons is trots daarop dat 82% van ons provinsie se 2018 begroting bestee is aan dienslewering onder die arm gemeenskappe. Ons provinsie en ons regering het verlede jaar altesaam 83% skoon audits oor die departemente ontvang. Die naasbeste provinsie was Gauteng met 52%. Dis eenvoudig 'n feit dat as 'n mens op die data oordeel, is daar geen enkele vergelyking tussen die provinsies nie. Honourable Deputy Speaker, this Department of Local Government monitors and supports 30 municipalities in the Western Cape, including the Metro. In the context of the current economic and fiscal environment, the department's budget amounts to 335.5 million in the 2019-20 financial year, 315 million in the 2021 financial year, and 331 million in the 21-22 financial year. The department's allocations increased over the 2019 MTF period by 38 million in 2019-20, 8 million in 2020-2021, and 8 million in 21-22 respectively. Speaker, may I add, this department is the department with the smallest provincial budget, but yet it is required to monitor and support municipalities so that good governance and service delivery are sustained and strengthened. Included in the department's 2019 MTF budget are the earmarked priority allocation for, amongst others, drought, water augmentation, appointment of geohydrologists and engineers, fires, disaster management, hazardous material capacity, municipal support, and additional capacity amounts to 254 million. In addition, the department received over the MTF 2019 MTF an amount of 81 million in the form of provincial priority allocations to assist with municipal broadband, municipal infrastructure, Tucson centres and mobile Tucson centres and firefighting capacity across the province. The Department of Local Government has positioned itself in the province as the gateway to local government, assuming the responsibility of taking the provincial departments to local government and bringing municipalities to the provincial departments. Put differently, Speaker, it is the methodology of strengthening the interface between the spheres of government premised on co-planning, co-budgeting, and co-implementation. As part of this methodology, I am strengthening the provincial and local government interface through the district coordinating forums, the DCFs. While this approach ensures administration traction on implementation, it secures the required political oversight on delivering services to our people. Speaker, everything that we do must directly or indirectly influence the lives of our citizens in a positive manner. We work to serve and not to steal. Over the next while, I will, together with the department, review the integrated planning and service delivery methodology, particularly between the three spheres of government. You see, Speaker, our communities and citizens don't draw a distinction between the spheres of government when it comes to service delivery. A typical example is the provision of bulk water during the drought. Although the provision and augmentation of bulk water is a national competency, the province, together with many municipalities, had to fork out millions for various water augmentation initiatives at significant opportunity cost of provincial competencies, because we couldn't see that our citizens suffered at the hand of an incompetent and bankrupt National Department of Water and Sanitation. Honourable Deputy Speaker, many are big allocations by the Department of Water and Sanitation to municipalities, as published in this year's DORA, had to be stopped. Couldn't take place because why, Speaker? There is no money in the department. An example of this is that the department provided co-funding to the Cedarburg municipality as a contribution to the brine fallout of the desalination plant. The National Department of Water and Sanitation gazetted to transfer 22 million rand to co-fund the project. 2 weeks ago, the municipality was informed that the funding will not flow in the current financial year, while the municipality has already appointed the contractor. And I think personally that's criminal. Honourable Deputy Speaker, the reasons presented is reprioritisation. But Speaker, the truth is the National Department of Water and Sanitation is bankrupt. We were at the recent soil turning event in the Klein Willem Dam, which signalled the raising of the wall of the dam. Not being officially informed, but we understand that the work is being delayed for a full year, while some of the staff is on site being paid to do nothing. Why the delay, Speaker? Why the delay, Speaker? It's not rocket science. It's a simple fact. The department is bankrupt. There is no money. And Minister Mokoyana, again, is on the ANC's list to represent the ANC in National Parliament. What a disgrace. What a disgrace. Talking about water and sanitation. Let me tell you how it should be done, Honourable Deputy Speaker. Ek wil noem van die geleentheid verlede week in Wellington, waar ek 'n nuwe waterherwinningsaanleg geopen het. Die Drakensberg munisipaliteit herwin vuil rioolwater vir 6 gemeenskappe in sy munisipale grense. Dit bedien meer as 250.000 mense. Die druk om die gemeenskap te bedien met die diens het oor die jare toegeneem. Wat het gebeur in ANC-beheerde rade of in Eskom? Die bestaande infrastruktuur word blootsgery tot dit ineenstort. Op die oomblik moet die weermag in Gauteng die Vaalrivier probeer skoonmaak en red na al die menslike afval wat oor die jare toegelaat is om die rivier te besoedel. Nie in die Wes-Kaap nie, agbare Deputy Speaker. Hier glo ons in die herstel, die onderhoudswerk en die opgradering van ons infrastruktuur. Die projek in Wellington het 305 miljoen gekos en 'n klomp jaar geneem om te voltooi. Maar weet u, dit het die kapasiteit vir Drakensberg munisipaliteit om afvalwater te herwin vergroot van 'n bestaande 6 megaliters tot 16 megaliters per dag. Agbare Deputy Speaker, die Wes-Kaap regering glo beleggings in infrastruktuur sal lei tot werkskepping. Ons is noodwendig deeglik bewus van die kleiner dorpe se finansiële uitdagings, wat dikwels beteken dat sommige dorpe eenvoudig nie altyd geld het vir die soort werk nie. Dit is waarom die provinsie instaan om sulke dorpe te ondersteun waar ons kan. Ek moet vra dat die munisipaliteite nie moet ophou met instandhouding nie. Sit daardie geld op sy, belê in infrastruktuur en die res sal volg. As ons goeie infrastruktuur het, lok ons beleggings en daarmee saam skep ons werk en verseker ons 'n beter lewe vir almal. Honourable Speaker, on governance, the key priority for this department is to embed good governance within local government. I believe that when you want others to change their behaviour, one should set the example. For this reason, Speaker, I acknowledge the department for setting a sterling example in governance performance by creating a platform for others to follow. I am glad to announce to this House today that the department, through the Management Performance Assessment tool, was rated the best performing department in the province on governance, as indicated by the results released by the Department Planning, Monitoring and Evaluation in 2018. Congratulations to Mr. Graham Paulse and all the staff in local government. In addition, Speaker, as proof that this department has institutionalized good governance as part of its day-to-day operations, and as recognition was awarded to the Gold Award for the Best Ethic Department, an award given by the Office of the Public Service Commissioner. Furthermore, the department has also received its 4th consecutive clean audit opinion, clearly setting a good example for municipalities. In order to promote good governance in municipalities, the department has, in the current financial year, done work on a draft standard rules of order bylaw, a code of conduct, and a system of delegations, just to mention a few. Over the 2019-20 MTF, a priority allocation of 46 million was received to further strengthen governance in municipalities. We will therefore continue our work around good governance with the aim to promote accountability, transparency, efficiency, and the rule of law in our municipalities. The real test of good governance is when citizens feel secure and trust a government to conduct public affairs in the best interest of society as a whole, rather than for the privileged few. In this case, not the privileged few and corrupt ANC politicians who have now need to explain themselves to the Zondo Commission. Turning to citizens' interface, Honourable Deputy Speaker, as part of strengthening citizen interface, the department supported municipalities with an accredited training program and integrated community development planning program. The focus was to train and to build the capacity of municipal public participation officials using various topics and contemporary approaches to public participation. Another example of strengthening the citizen interface is the recent development of the Client Service Charter, which was piloted in Prince Albert Municipality. And I've got it here, Honourable Speaker, and I hope the mayors will take note. I really think that it's time that we need to enter into a contract with citizens. This charter, Honourable Deputy Speaker, is a social contract between the municipalities and its citizens. It is a demonstration of the municipality's commitment to fulfil its constitutional mandate of delivering quality services and improving the quality of the lives of the residents of the Prince Albert municipality. The residents will therefore keep the municipality accountable when the published service standards are not met. Equally, the communities must assume its responsibility by actively and meaningfully participate in policy development, programs, budgets, plans, and indeed payment of services and protection of infrastructure. I'm really looking forward, and I want to congratulate the department for this initiative. Honourable Deputy Speaker, in the 2019 financial year, mainstream budget is available to develop client service charters for some of our municipalities, and we will phase this in. The ward committee system has as its foundation to strengthen the citizen interface. During this year, the department have reviewed all ward committee operational plans of all local municipalities. The result was significant improvements in the quality of ward committee operational plans. Speaker, notwithstanding that the assessment report on the functionality of the ward committees indicates that all is in good stead, I know in some cases challenges remain. I have therefore requested the department to develop contemporary responses to the remaining challenges so that indeed, through the ward committee system, democracy is enhanced. The budget in the 2019-20 financial year will fund the initiative to further sophisticate the ward committee system. The Tucson program has been tailored to ensure that citizens of the Western Cape province can seamlessly access a wide range of integrated services in one location, irrespective of where they live. For the past year, the focus of the outreach events was on the farming and rural communities, reaching over 50 farms in the rural nodes. In addition, 4 emergency interventions were implemented in support of communities affected by the impact of the drought, social unrest and fires, including the recently fire at Wuppertal, where this department with the Cedarburg municipality and the mayor is here today, as well as the district municipality, join hands and in a matter of days repair the water, the power and the communication to that community despite all the challenges. And thank you, Mayor, for your cooperation. In the Western Cape, the Back to Basic program was implemented during 2015 at 10 of the most vulnerable municipalities in the province, with the aim to providing support to address challenges in the respective municipalities. To date, 2 municipalities have successfully exited the program, namely the Cape Agulhas municipality in 2017-18 financial year and the Swellendam municipality in the 2018-19 financial year. In 2015, following the intervention notice in Oudtshoorn municipality, the department implemented the Back to Basic support plan aimed at addressing the challenges highlighted during the intervention process. Oudtshoorn municipality is on track to soon exit this program. During the year under review, the department, in partnership with the Hans Seidel Foundation, conducted a winter school program for councillors, where the focus of the winter school was on ethical and responsible leadership. Regarding the Municipal Property Rights Amendment Act 2014, the department received accolades from the Department of Cooperative Governance for the best performing province in terms of monitoring and supporting municipalities with the implementation and compliance of the MPRA. Honourable Deputy Speaker, the Department of Local Government is the lead department responsible for the coordination of the drought response in the province. Working with various stakeholders during the 2017-18 and 18-19 financial year, the department developed the integrated drought response strategy, which adopted a 2-pronged approach to ensure domestic water security in all towns within the Western Cape. The approach focused on reducing water consumption through water conservation and demand management programs, while simultaneously increasing the availability of water through water supply augmentation programs. Amongst others, the municipalities were supported with financial and technical support in order to augment the water supply in various drought-stricken towns. The department's engineers and project managers conducted drought assessment in all our municipalities in order to determine the extent of the drought and the risk of water security. Geohydrologists were appointed in each district to support municipalities with the geophysical investigation and borehole siting, as well as the supervision of drilling and testing of boreholes in the province. High-risk municipalities include Beaufort West, Laingsburg and Kannaland municipalities. The department is currently providing these municipalities with dedicated professional support and technical advisory services. Several interventions were identified for each municipality to mitigate the risk of experiencing water shortages. A fire, flood and drought awareness campaign was also conducted in 80 schools in the central Karoo district area, reaching a total of 35,258 learners over the past year. Honourable Speaker, when it comes to the drought, we are not out of the woods yet, although we certainly are much better off than a year ago. Still, I want to take this moment to reiterate the call to continue to save water. We must be wary of complacency, and we must seek, all of us, to adapt to long-term behaviour change when it comes to water in general, and in general the way we live. I want to end off by thanking the head of the department and the personnel for their dedication. Thank you.
The Honourable Nkosila.
Thank you, Honourable Deputy Speaker. Honourable Deputy Speaker, let me appreciate in good spirit the debate, but firstly, let me greet the Honourable Premier, Honourable Executive, the Executive Council of this Parliament, Honourable Members, Heads of Departments, South African Local Government, which is SARGA, Executive Mayors, Municipal Speakers and Councillors, Members of Media, ladies and gentlemen. Honourable Deputy Speaker, it's been 5 years and we've been doing this business in this very house. But Speaker, it has been not without challenges. But of course, it has been a very successful story. A story that Honourable Premier stated with a very passionate message that she gave when she presented the State of the Province address. The message was clear: we're celebrating 10 years of good governance in this province. And the message that she gave is a message that says, this province functions, and this province works, and this province is a province that serves all people of this province and serves all people of this country who find themselves in this province, and the people of the world. Honourable Speaker, in my standing committee as the chairperson, we have performed our constitutional obligations as per the rules of this Parliament, and we further ensured that for the past 5 years, as the standing committee,
Order, Honourable Janchi, you're the next speaker on the list.
we encourage a culture of accountability, a culture of non-partisanship, and the spirit of oversight which has been sacrosanct in our performance as the standing committee. And I think we've done that exceptionally well. And I thank the members of this committee for having achieved that. This budget vote is an embodiment of the values of freedom, fairness, opportunity, and diversity that we espouse in this province. This is the budget that puts at the center of government our people and all people of this province. It recognizes that for any successful local government, Honourable Deputy Speaker, we must give credence to the principle of a tripartite alliance of the people, municipal administration, and municipal council. Because without that, you cannot function as a government. The local government is at the cold face of the people. So that is where things happen. So you've got to recognize that without the people themselves as part of that government, it cannot function properly. This is the recipe for successes that we have seen in this province. Because for this province to succeed, Honourable Deputy Speaker, the Democratic Alliance-led Western Cape understands that if any government leaves people behind, that government is the enemy of the people. That government is the enemy of the people, and this province understands that principle. I don't know about others up north. If any of the things that we can celebrate here is what Honourable Minister Bridel has has shared with us, that they've become innovative, recognizing that the fourth industrial revolution is not something that is spoken about far in the desert. It's here. And people are beginning to say we need to be engaged differently. We can't always go to public meetings because at times it's difficult to reach everyone at the same time. But this government has recognized that and become innovative about instituting means that will encourage people to participate in the decision-making of government. And we commend yourself, Minister, and the Department of Local Government seated there, HOD and your team, through you, Honorable Deputy Speaker. Honorable Deputy Speaker, Minister Pradelle has not only understood this principle, but together with his very able department, they've created a mechanism that he has presented here, that people are going to be using an app with a cell phone and say, I'm happy with this decision, I'm not happy with this decision. And I've said to Honorable Janji on the other side, he must learn to now go to Facebook and also and download the app because he's not on Facebook. And he doesn't really believe in the new culture of technology, but I think it's about time so that we can police properly, Honorable Speaker. But also what Honorable Minister has done, he has spoken extensively about what key budgetary items of each of the 4 programs of the department will do. And I think part of that, we support how he intends to spend that money. And the Standing Committee, we said we support that. Honorable Janji, we said we support that. And also, what we said chiefly among that is that the budget, especially on program 2 and 3, which is that what Honorable Minister has spoken about here, that we want to make sure that we support the capacity of building resilience in fighting fires, building resilience in fighting the ever-growing disasters, which in the main here is the fires, as well as the informal settlements that we've seen many people dying in some of the informal settlements, trying to install fire alarm systems and trying to invest in other modalities to be more creative in fighting fire. So those are the kind of things that this department has said, but also central to that is to say we're no longer having the luxury of water in this province. So he says we are going to invest in that space. So as the Standing Committee, we said we support that because that is what we need in this province. Honorable Deputy Speaker, also the Minister has said to us, one of the things that he wants to focus on as the department, unfortunately, he cannot guarantee himself that he's going to come back in that same department because the Premier must decide after the elections. But what he said, because the ANC will not be implementing this program, but the new DA government and the new minister implementing, is that we need to focus in ensuring that the capacity of councillors and the capacity of MPECs, but also the role of the role of oversight committees need to be strengthened. And I've seen some officials sitting that side who are doing that. Mr. Makaman, that side, Honorable Deputy Speaker, and Mr. Michel, who work with municipalities directly in ensuring that the capacity of councillors and the oversight role is played sufficiently and effectively. So who cannot support that? So we support it as the Standing Committee, and we said it's a very good thing that this department is doing. Let me just share some worries, Honorable Deputy Speaker. The first worry, I spoke to the Minister of Environmental Affairs and Development Planning. And one of the things I raised with him in another committee is that the SPLUMA implementation and of course the serving of the members from the Department of Environmental Affairs and Development Planning in the committees, which is the, in this case, in the tribunals. It's something that has a potential to create a conflict of interest, and we need to monitor that because you can't be a referee and a player. And in many cases, that is something that the department has acknowledged, and that is something that the department said, and also the minister of that department, that is going to look at revising how the participation of the officials gets to be amended in terms of recognizing the spirit that Spluma encompasses. So that's one of the technical issues that we also highlighted as the standing committee. And I also think, Chair, Honorable Deputy Speaker, one of the other things that we recognize is that in some councils, it's a very small portion of municipalities, you've gotten this hunger, by some administrators, which is municipal officials, wanting to usurp the power of the executive authority, the power of the oversight bodies. And we need to make sure that we clamp down on that appetite, because it is going to destroy the fabric of democracy. It's going to compromise the role of municipal councils and the manner in which decisions are taken. So that is something that, Honorable Deputy Speaker, is important to acknowledge. But also, without even appreciating that it is happening, there are areas where we have seen that it also at times breed corruption. And we have been working as a standing committee to say that if a municipal official has been found to be corrupt, or a councillor or a mayor, we need to act with speed, because too much power is a problem, and absolute power is even more problematic. And I don't want to even go to the lecture and the history of that. On the question leadership, I think it's important that I highlight the position that this parliament took, that this parliament said, Speaker, Honorable Deputy Speaker, we want to appreciate and support the role of the cohesion leadership. But the spirit within we do that, it must be done in a way that recognizes justice, fairness, and the whole spirit of equal treatment when it comes to traditional leaders. But what we have acknowledged as a fact, which is very disappointing and very unfortunate, is what the national government has done in dealing with the traditional leaders, specifically cohesion leaders, the Mana, the Korana, the Griqua, and of course the Cape Koi and others, that they think these are street committees that should be juniorized in approach, and they treat them as, by the way, as second-class citizens. And we're saying we don't appreciate it and will not support that kind of nonsense where you're going to treat them as second-class citizens. We want everybody to be treated equally and fairly in this country, and recognizing the statutes that set this democracy that which we all believe in. Lastly, Honorable Deputy Speaker, I would like to request that you put those gadgets, because I'm going to speak with the language. I know that the officials don't have the gadgets, but please put it up. Okokuqala mandibulele mhlonipheki obekekileyo uRichard Gyanje. Sisebenze kahle kakhulu kule 5 years. Khange sitshintshe okosi kule committee. Siyabulela kakhulu. Zange ndabona mina nangenye imini sisithi makuvotwe xa kuthathwa izigqibo kule committee. Sihlala sixoxe, singavumelani, sivumelane, but ekugqibeleni sithi siyavumelana ke ngoku ngoba sesigqibile uxoxo. So i-majority endifuna ukuyibulela kakhulu kuwe Mhlekazi, ndiyabulela ngokusebenzisana nathi kakuhle. Also, there were times, Honorable Deputy Speaker, where we dealt with difficult situations in Oudtshoorn, difficult situations in Canaland, difficult situations in Beaufort West, in Cederberg, and lastly in George. We took collective decision, and we were very clear in taking those decisions that we would be non-partisan but we'll put the people of this province first. And we've done so because we believe that the work of parliament is through the committees. Without committees, there's no parliament. Because here we often don't agree when we stand in this podium, but in the committees, that is where the actual work gets done, and we've seen it being done in this committee and with the members here. And thank you very much. And I also need to appreciate Honorable Deputy Speaker, insebenziswano kamphathiswa u-Anton Bridel, ngoba ngaphandle kwakhe ayikho la department, ngoba xa ezamane mhlawumbi yena ngenelele sisebenza ayezusebenza la department. Ndithi uba ngaba sixa sisebenza abloke la department mama ingezi akuzuba awuzucaca umsebenzi wala department. So xa sisebenza usoloko evulile into ba ikomiti mayisebenze, and usebenze njengomphathiswa engenaxhala lomane ejonga ngasemva esivumela siwenze umsebenzi siyikomiti, and ephendula xa sibuza imibuzo kuye njengomphathiswa. Siyabulela kakhulu mphathiswa uBridel. Ndiyabulela kakhulu also egameni lekomiti intsebenziswano yalamagosa karhulumente onke naba babukele TV ngoku into yokuba man, your cooperation has made us the committee that you have seen, because without the culture that we have seen in the department as public servants would not have been able to do our job in the manner in which we have done our job, because we performed our responsibilities knowing very well that you are there to serve these people of this province, and you have done so without fail. And thank you very much for the work that you are doing to serve the people of this province selflessly. Thank you very much. Okokugqibela ke ndiyacinga into yokuba ibalekile uba ndibulele abantu abasincedayo ukuzisa inkonzo ebantwini. The most important segment of our government, and that is all the mayors sitting there, to recognize the role that you have played in making our job easier as the standing committee, and of course your officials, your councillors, and the speakers for making our job a little bit easier than what it could have been, because you understood that in the spirit of intergovernmental relations, we've got a job, and that job is clear in Chapter 7 of the Constitution, what you should be doing. But both Schedule 4 and 5 of the Constitution says what this Parliament must be doing. And you have not given us any reason to doubt your commitment. And thank you very much for that. Because you often take the blame when things don't go right. When things go well, we want to take we want to claim victory and successes. So thank you very much. Honorable Deputy Speaker, let me end by saying there's a growing conversation in the corridors of local government, and SALCA and all the municipalities have been raising this issue. We need to redefine the role of district municipalities and how we're funding the district municipalities, because it is not fair to continue expecting them to perform certain functions, but there's not enough budget given to them. And also, if you look at the mid-year population estimates by Statistics South Africa, as delivered last year, it says this province is the third biggest province, and that is sitting at 6.6 to 6.6 million South Africans living in this province.
Order.
And this is following from
Just finish off. Remember your time has expired, but just finish off.
From GP and KZN. But the money that we are receiving in this province in terms of the division of revenue is not pointing at that.
Thank you. Remember your time has
Thank you
expired.
very much. Thank you.
The Honourable Janchi, now is your opportunity to speak.
Thank you, Deputy Speaker. Maybe just before I get to my speech, if I would ask you to just follow me, there's a little exercise I want to do with you. We are ready for Ramaphosa.
Honourable Deputy Speaker.
We are
Honourable Deputy
ready.
Speaker.
Order.
So much.
Honourable Dylan Mitchell.
Thank you, Deputy Speaker.
Thank you, Honourable Deputy Speaker.
Order. Honourable Mitchell.
Honourable Deputy Speaker, is it parliamentary for a member to speak on 2 mics, so he's occupying 2 seats?
Order. I will look at that, but as long as we can hear the member properly, it's fine. Member, you may continue with your speech.
Thank you very much, Deputy Speaker. Maybe, Deputy Speaker, let me start by... Let me start by thanking. Let me start by thanking the professional work of that department, support staff in the committees, the able leadership of the chair, despite the pressure from your own chief whip to do wrong things. So I want to start there because I might not end with some thanks. So that's where I end the clapping of hands at that point. I want Deputy Speaker to also make the point.
Order, member, just 1 second. Order. Chief Whip.
Point of order. Speaker, with all due respect, the point has been raised by the member. The 2 mics, he's not speaking from his bench. He's speaking from another bench. So he must make up his mind. That's the first thing. Second thing, through the whole of this day, this man has been grandstanding, and now he's trying to build up for a crescendo. That's fine, that's his right. But we don't have to aid and abet him by giving him a double volume mic.
Order, member. I'm not going to rule against that. If the member stands in the passage, it's fine. There's no
rule for
strict
2 mics.
requirement on that, but I will watch the member.
I am going to continue using the 2
Just
mics
make your
because I'm
speech and carry
standing
on.
here. Thank you very much, Deputy Speaker, for ruling in my favor in terms of that.
Order.
Can the controller of the microphones please
No,
turn off
sit
the second
down.
microphone?
Sit down, Wiley. Sit down. Sit down.
Order. 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 Let us proceed with the debate, please.
The Department of Local Government, that's Aina, that's bias here, can that scene. The Department of Local Government is responsible for promoting good governance in local authorities to enhance municipal service delivery. Strategic goals for the department: compliant and accountable municipalities underpinned by good governance, effective monitoring of local government. Let's see how this has been going and if any resources have been allocated to champion these goals. A Deming report presented by provincial authorities revealed that 6 DA-run municipalities may be hotbeds for tender irregularities, mismanagement, and invalid appointments of senior officials. And that includes George, amongst others. In the DA-run George municipality, an employee alleged supply chain management irregularities and gross deviation from tender specifications dating back to 2014 and involving 2 companies. Allegations of fraud and corruption at the George municipality were brought to the attention of the department and the MEC by our assessment of the information and documentation, could not find substantive evidence and requested additional information. This is a cover-up. George was not the only problem in the province, with 8 other municipalities rocked by allegations of maladministrations, including Bito, Kanaland, Oudtshoorn, Beaufort West, Cederberg, Theewaterskloof, Langeberg, and Stellenbosch. Now, I'm raising this because we are in a province that is best run, according to the DA. In Bito, a Section 106 intervention was in place. There was also a probe into racketeering in the Kanaland municipality. The appointment of the municipal manager and the chief financial officer were also found procedurally flawed. Under your watch, MEC Bridell, this is your legacy. I hope I'm trying to show you part of your legacy. In the DA-led Oudtshoorn Council, allegations of tender irregularities, irregular expenditure, and appointments of staff in contravention of procedure have been received. And if we were to talk about effective intergovernmental relations, the Cape Water Gate has left behind many casualties. One of them was the blatant disregard for the intergovernmental principles. The DA faction in the city of Cape Town stripped the executive mayor of her powers and appointed the Aleki, Ian Nelson, to salvage what they call Day Zero crisis. He was clearly not up to the task, and then Musi Maimane crossed the state party lines to have a go at practicing to be a premier. Next, we had the real premier candidate, MEC Windy, with his blue jeans and Day Zero t-shirt. The province effectively blamed the city for the mess. The city tore itself apart in courts for many months during 2017-2018. Today, the residents of Cape Town are stuck with exorbitant water bills. The DA's governance failures has resulted in ratepayers footing the 1 billion surplus which was collected through high water tariffs. The DA has priced ratepayers out of their constitutional right to access to water, up to a point of 600% rate increase. This is this party. As we have
Order.
less than 40 days.
Order, member Janji, just 1 second.
Honourable Deputy Speaker, I know that you've ruled on this, but the honourable member's microphone is now off and he's speaking now on a microphone that is not his bench.
Member Mitchell, I will look at that at the moment. Both mics are on and I can hear the member pretty well. Please continue. You may continue. Order, order. Please continue.
This circus has no end, and all the DA can say is the province function oversight. I'm sure they forget that they are governing party many times instead of them speaking about oversight. And let's go to some of the things that MEC spoke about. He spoke about the crisis in ESCOM that the national government is fixing, like many others that it's fixing. But he's not even mentioning, mentioning that they stayed for a year not being able to manage a drought crisis that forewarned them for many months. Because under that, you could not deal with your demand management that you are mentioning here. Even as you sit down, as you make your last speech, I ask a question in this house. Are you able to tell us as you sit there? You spoke about boreholes here. The question was asked to you. How many boreholes do we have in this province that are illegally done? And how many private? How many public? You still cannot answer that, yet you are the MEC of this province under those kind of issues. You leave as you make your last speech today. You have not even been able to fulfill your own 3 dreams. You said your dreams were the issue of infrastructure. You live with nothing, no plan in place. The issue of maintenance of the bulk infrastructure, as well as revenue generation. As you finish your term, after 10 years, we have nothing of those in sight. And as for Member Ngasela, in the point that you are making...
Order, just 1 second, on Minister Windy.
Take a question.
Are you prepared to take a question? Order. Honourable Janji, are you prepared to take a question?
I am prepared.
Order, Honourable Magaka. I'm listening to your member there.
I am prepared to take a question, Honourable Deputy Speaker, just as I finish this.
Fine. The answer is no, not now. Please continue.
In terms of the Khoisan leadership, the ANC in this House supported the bill that we sent to the NCOP. So even as you go into the election, we know that we said we support the Khoisan leadership, and we were in the public hearings. We were in the public hearings. You were not there. So I think it's going to be important for the DA to go out there and say, we don't support you to be part of the others in this country. Let me also make the next point, because the MEC here, and this is something new that I've just picked up as we're finishing the term. This department.
Order, you're competing with your own leader there. Honourable Magaka, please allow your member behind you to speak.
This department, Honourable Deputy Speaker, it thinks that it is the best in the country now, but let me get to that point. For the last 2 years, we sat here, we dealt with your annual report. In that annual report, for all of those 2 years following each other, this department had a high turnover rate of staff. There was an issue about HR, exodus of staff. We even declared it as a sick department at some point. And yet, in the program they're presenting to us in terms of embedding good governance, which he mentioned in his speech, that apparently are saying they have now been awarded as the best department by the MPET. And the issues that MPET was looking for was accountability, governance, strategic management, HR, and financial management. Now, I'm saying that's a new thing, but it's a revelation. What it means is that basically you have a department that we have all agreed that it has got problems around these issues, but yet it's getting an award. I don't want to blame them. The blame does not go to the DA or the department. There's a misdiagnosis that has happened, which was saying the national department, and we're taking this issue. Because we could not understand for a very long time, poor departments come back, they come with awards. We just couldn't understand. But now we understand there's some form of misdiagnosis, which we have got to take up with that department of planning and evaluation. Because if they can give us this department as having been the best in the country, something is wrong in their own way of doing things. So the blame is not on you. We have to fix how they diagnose this kind of department. Because then the next point he makes is about the issue of the gold awards on ethical leadership. And yet I've just read to you, under the watch of that MEC in the department, what is happening in municipalities. How do you get gold when you've got such mess in your best run province? So the ANC, the ANC Deputy Speaker, we are very clear in terms of our own role and input here, that as you complete your 10 years, we are now left with less than 40 days. We're saying thank you and good riddance for the DA, because we are very clear that change is coming. When we spoke with the department, we did say to that professional staff that we want them to remain professional.
Remember, your time has expired. I will allow your last sentence. Please finish off.
We want to say to that department that must remain professional, because come the 9th of May, there will be new chiefs in charge of this province.
Thank you. Your time has expired.
Thank you. It's the ANC.
Order. Order. Please come to order before I see the Minister. Minister de Bel,
baie dankie. Agbare Deputy Speaker, dat ek begin deur my amptenare te bedank onder die leiding van die HOD, Grain Polse. Ek sien daar sit amptenare daarbo, hier sit amptenare hierdie kant van my. Baie dankie vir julle loyaliteit. You can give them a nice hand. As I sit here, Honourable Speaker, I just think I must mention it. The first time I came to Parliament, I walked into it, you won't recall it, but in Mr. Mitchell. Over the years, he has become more grey and I've got a beard, but we're still here. I hope we can continue. I really want to congratulate the department. This is a team effort to govern, to serve the people. And always remember that you're just as good as your team. And I think in local government, we've managed to build a very, very good team. So I really want to thank all of you for your dedication and for serving the people in this province with a passion, because it's no easy task, that I can promise you. To all our mayors who on a daily basis doing the right things, serving the people, thank you very much. To Masazoli, my colleague, our chairperson, for your commitment, for the honourable, en nou het die man nog my graad ook gevang, so hy het 'n mooi swart jas aangehad. Massie, thank you very much. Congratulations with that. Honourable Speaker, it is a privilege to come to the Standing Committee knowing that they are hard on you, but it's all in the best will of the people in the Western Cape. To the Honourable Yankee, first of all, to drill a borehole is not illegal. to subtract water is illegal. So, om 'n boorgat te sink is nie onwettig nie. Om water te trek is onwettig. So, maar agbare spreker, kom ons gaan gou daar verby. Want die agbare Richard het 'n klomp munisipaliteite genoem. Ag, ons gee nie eintlik vreeslik om nie, want die ANC het jou in elk geval afgekom.
Orde.
Agbare spreker, ons sit vandag hier byvoorbeeld, hy het Cederberg genoem. Cederberg se burgemeester het die munisipaliteit vir die laaste 2 jaar gekry na 'n skoon audit toe. Uit 'n gemors van 'n ANC beheer. To take that municipality from a corrupt, bankrupt ANC government to a clean audit will take some.
Minister, voor ons verder gaan, kan ek net die galery daarop wys dat hulle nie deel is van die verrigtinge op die vloer nie en nie moet hande klap of saam cheer nie. Minister, jy mag voortgaan.
Agbare speaker, agbare deputy speaker, in ander gevalle van munisipaliteite. Ons het nog altyd as departement nie polities opgetree nie, maar tot die beste belang van die gemeenskap, in the best interest of the community. If there was any allegations, we will investigate. We sent in the walk in George. The frustration is we don't get the report of a failure of national government, another national failure. That's the frustration. Because if we get the report, because everybody is innocent until proven guilty, dat sal selfs die honorable member van my gee, want hulle speel ook daardie hand. En dit is reg. Because if you believe in the rule of law, you're innocent until proven guilty. But give us the report so that we can deal with it, irrespective of what political party you belong to, because we want the best for our citizens. Ek gaan nie lank wees, die agbare speaker, ek wil net sê, in 2010 het die mense van die Weskaap, die honorable Richard Jantjie gefire. Vandag, soos ons hier staan, het die ANC hom gefire. Die arme man. Ons moet seker maar vir hom jammer kry. Maar, agbare speaker, what is more important, can you imagine why we can stand and brag here today? It's because of the people in 2009 voting in the DA. If the people nationally voted in the DA, we would have discussed today not the failure of Eskom and electricity and SRL and a corrupt state, a looted state. We would have discussed an accountable, transparent, efficient, rule of law state. We would have been a country, a leading country in this planet. Honourable Speaker, I really can't understand how anybody can defend the looting of the ANC. And the voters will deal with them the 8th of May. Thank you very much.
Order. That concludes the debate on this vote. The House will suspend for a few minutes to allow the galleries to be cleared for the officials to come in. The House is suspended.